Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm's services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Let's Do It Talk Show. It's your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, the CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And you know what I do in a nutshell, right? I help to turn dreamers into doers, and I do it from two aspects. I do it from the aspect of career development, resume writing, interview preparation. You have an issue on your job or you're looking to switch jobs, I am your girl. And then I also do it from a business aspect. You're looking to start a business. You're looking to expand your business, marketing strategies, or you have some ideas and thoughts and don't know how to bring them into fruition. I am your girl. Here on the Let's Do It Talk Show, we were primarily created for entrepreneurs, right? Quickly, we realized that the entire person needs to be actually taken care of. So we talk about finances, right? We talk about the future. We talk about families and relationships. And today we have a whole special panel of people to talk to you. We're going to be talking about sweatpants and chill. So, you know, this is the event that I am the MC for on an annual basis, right? So it was so much that went on this weekend, and trying to recap it for those who were not there was kind of like a struggle. So this is the after party for that. So this is the Sweatpants and Chill after party. So we're going to be talking about healing your mind, body, business, and we just added your soul. So my guests today are Latasha Briscoe, the visionary and host of Sweatpants and Chill. Flo Sheffrin, she's no stranger to this platform. Rodney Burris, we finally let a man come in on Sweatpants and Chill. Angeli Austin, and last but certainly not least, Regina Robinson. But you know what I do before I get into the actual show, right? I talk about and I share about my weekend, which was basically Sweatpants and Chill. But first up, we have to say Happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans and all those who serve. Sweatpants and Chill. The pictures will show you everything. The experience was held in Baltimore, Maryland. And oh my goodness, Latasha outdid herself. We're back in the building. It was all virtual last year. This year it was a hybrid. The ambassadors were just so on point. And just me doing my thing, right? So that's Rodney. We had a man in the building for the first time on the platform. I snatched up some of y'all pictures off of Facebook because I was so engaged that I didn't take many. Friday was a tropical getaway theme. On Saturday, it was none other than denim and pearls. And then on Sunday, we do what we do. A lot of people skip church, but you're not skipping church because we go to church there. We have ministers of all different walks, and as we said there, we all are ministers. So this weekend was it was an experience that you can't really explain. And thank you to everyone who came up to me and just brought personalized gifts for me. Wasn't expecting any of them all, but thank you all. You all inspired and encouraged me. And then yoga. I miss yoga, but everybody else had fun doing so. So just wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who showed up and did their thing. Sweatpants and Chill. If you missed it, Make sure that you are there for 2022. Tasha doesn't play, right? So she was sitting by me while we were at the event. And I started seeing like floor plans. I know she's an event planner. She was planning for 2022. So registration is open. Discount code will be shared during this show. So make sure if you missed it this year, you missed it last year, and you keep saying you want to go, make sure you stand out now because you know how fast it sells out, right? So we're going to jump right into the show. We have a whole panel of people that are waiting to join into the conversation. And first up, we are going to start with the visionary and the host of Sweatpants and Chill, Miss Latasha Briscoe. Latasha, welcome to the show.
Hey. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited. I'm glad that you're woke because, you know, Tasha is my partner. That's the co-visionary for the book project that I had. But she goes to bed early. She rises early, so we're going to make sure that we get you out here in a timely manner. Is that okay?
That's right. Absolutely.
All right, so Sweatpants and Chill 2021, right? You made your post. You was like, it's a wrap. And, of course, I had to go right behind you. It's a wrap with a bow. Sweatpants and Chill 2021 was amazing. It was so challenging for me to actually post because it was so much. And just like some other people said, I didn't want to write a book, so I was trying to be as succinct as possible. So, but can I tell you, sis, check mark, mission accomplished. Check mark, mission accomplished. So let's jump into it, right? So this year, the event was hybrid. Last year was virtual, and of course, all before it was in person. So I want to know, like, now that we have returned in person partially, how did this make you feel? How did it make you feel?
Well, you know, I was torn last year. Like, I literally waited till the last minute to make that final decision to just go virtual last year.
Right.
Because I know how touchy-feely and emotional this event can be. And I've learned that our attendees, we love to touch, we love to hug, and we love to cry on each other. I did not think we were going to have that in a virtual environment, but I wanted to deliver something. And as you know, we ended up delivering that virtual event, and we still had all that emotion filling the event. The attendees walked away last year from their homes with the same fulfillment that we did in previous years in person. And what that did was remind me about the purpose of the event and why we need to continue going with this. I prayed all year that we would be able to get up together in person again. And I thank God that we were able to actually have a physical event this year and come together for those 3 days and experience what Sweatpants and Chill truly is. I tell everybody it's more than a conference. It's a community. It's a network of individuals with like-minded ideas and thoughts, wanting to do something different for themselves and help other people. And we can do it in a way where we're very open and we don't have to pretend who we are. We're not playing dress up to impress anybody. We're just coming out there being our all natural selves and just really open with everything that we're doing and willing to do. So I appreciate that the people that showed up, because I also didn't know if people were ready to come out, but I appreciate those that, you know, they trusted the plans and they showed up vaccinated and we didn't have any issues. And, you know, it just went well. And we did what we always do. We pray it all out. We prayed it all out and everything was done in God's plan.
Right. And just think about how Sunday went, right? So we all know how well, let me just say, I know my expectation for Sunday. For me, ever since, so this is the fourth one, ever since number one, it has been Sunday for me. Sunday has been the one that has made me really, really, really feel deep down in my spirit of the purpose of being there, right? So we talk about mind, we talk about body, we talk about business, and newly you are adding soul on that. So it's not just about business, right? It's all of these other things that come to play with it. So for me, oh my God, Sunday is that it puts the foundation is at the beginning, but Sunday puts that period on the very end to make sure that people came to get, you know, that people receive what they came to get. And everybody has a different purpose when they write it out of when they are coming. But I can tell you, and I wrote this on my post, I'm not a betting woman, but if I had to bet, I will bet that everybody that attended, everybody that was in that room was transformed, whether it was a speaker, an MC, or a participant, because everybody loved on one another. Everybody shared their stories vocally, and they did not hold back in terms of their feelings. Because one of the things that you'll recognize and that you'll realize through life and through maturity, as you grow up and as you really begin to be vulnerable and tell your truth, that's how you get healed. When you are fake and you hold back and you don't really share all of what you're dealing with, you don't get healed on the true stuff. You get healed on the fake stuff. So, and you can't get healed on the fake stuff. So just that in itself, sis, I love the thing that you came up with. I love what you're doing with it. And so we're going to talk again at the end, but I definitely want to pull some of these people that we handpicked to come on the show and to share the information with you. So any more words at the intro before we get into the actual interviews with some of the speakers?
Yeah, no, you definitely touched on it. And that I agree with you that Sunday, I purposely titled it The Release Brunch, because everything that happened on Friday, we work Friday, we work Saturday, we learn new things, we try new things, we get all of this information. But the purpose of that Sunday, release all that other stuff that you don't need, because you've been filled up with so much extra. You need Sunday to release all this other stuff so that you can be prepared to walk in that newness that you received. And I was very intentional about how that event needed to flow, how that day needed to flow. What I didn't know was, and Ladrine, I don't think you were in the room at the time, but I put on my church service before we actually began the brunch that day. And my pastor's message was talking about a newness, and everything just aligned so perfect. And I tell you, like I said, everything was happening in God's plan, and it was out of my control after everything began. But I'm gonna let the other presenters share, because again, everything flowed. And we selected these. Each of the speakers, I reviewed every bio, all of their background, and I handpicked every last one of the presenters that were there, because I needed to make sure that they understood what my mission and my vision was for this event. So I'm gonna pass it back to you so they can share their insight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So of course we couldn't bring all thousands, like all 50 or so of the speakers on the show with us. So what we wanted to do is give you an excerpt of what we experienced and some of the information that was shared during the Sweatpants and Chill event. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple of the presenters come on and talk to you and share a little bit. So first up, we are going to start with Rodney Burris. So Rodney, how are you this evening?
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. My background is a little crazy, so if it's okay, I'm just going to just share with my beautiful, bright smile. Hi, Ladrine. How are you?
How are you? I'm well, thank you. No problem at all. So before we kick it off, right, because you know we normally don't allow any males in the room, but you have that honor to grace the stage. So let's start off first by giving a quick intro of who you are.
Absolutely. So my name is Rodney C. Burris, and I am a leadership mindset development trainer. And what that simply means is, a nutshell, is that we have inside of us everything that we need to be different and better. Right. And so the process is how to access that in order to improve our lives. I do it with staff teams. I do it with athletic teams, teachers, churches, communities. And the best part about it is that people don't feel like they have to get rid of their folks, get rid of their kids, get rid of their spouse if they have one, right? Fire everybody at the job. It's like, oh, wow, we can unlock this human potential that God has placed in all of us, right? And so that's what I do, whether it's in a corporate setting or a community setting or anywhere in between. And I was just honored to be able to do it with the ladies at Sweatpants and Chill.
Awesome, awesome. So what was the title of your presentation? Right.
So, Ladrine, you ever heard of the phrase, the cliche, hurt people hurt people?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And so kind of flipping that on his head a little bit and making it a strength-based statement, right? A positive statement. Better people then must better people. Right. So people that are improving as they go probably are doing a good job of improving others at the same time. And so that's what that's all about. And so bringing the ladies along the way with the better people mindset within themselves, within their relationships, as individuals, as leaders. And I took us through a series of activities that was, if I had all the time in the world, if Latasha Briscoe just let me take over the whole show, which, she couldn't give so much time to little old me. But the idea was to tie the women there to let them know that it's literally within the sisterhood, right? Being linked with like-minded people that are here, but then taking those skills and finding those like-minded sisters outside of the retreat, right? Back home, back in their own circles. And so I took them through a series of exercises and questions to just bring in that sisterhood, to let them see how easy it is to unlock what's already within all of us.
Yes, and yes, you did. So one of the things, even way past when you had left the building, I carried on the torch for you, okay? So you can pay me later. I'm joking. Thank you. The exercise that you did of who are you, like repeating it over and over and over and over again. I said it jokingly, but sincerely, I carried that assignment out throughout. And whenever there was lag time, I would jump in. Who are you? Who are you? Ooh. Who are you? The exercise and then the explanation behind it was powerful. It was a powerful exercise, and I really loved how it empowered individuals. And this was night one. You know what I mean? This was night one. So thank you for that exercise and all of the different activities that you did. But that one definitely stood out. So I definitely wanted to give you kudos for that.
I have to say thank you to Latasha for that. Latasha took a risk on me. Everybody looks shiny online, right? Everybody put their best photos online.
Right.
And so Latasha and I, prior to when I walked in, we had never met before. I don't believe it, except for maybe those crazy times back in the 90s. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Like in the 90s.
But Latasha and I, she took a risk. Back in the 90s, I don't know. But, she took a risk to invite a male into that sacred place, right? Where the women were coming together in the spirit of sisterhood to upbuild and uplift and encourage each other. I really took that as an honor, right? I wanted to honor the spirit of that space. I wanted to move in that vibe. And so if it had that impact, I'm very grateful. And I want to go ahead and forward that honor right over to Latasha for her having a vision to even, bring something together like that.
Absolutely. So you kind of touch bases with some of the high level points, but by all means, are there any high level points or any concise takeaway points that you want the viewers to walk away with?
Right. So in everyday life, right, for everybody that's here with us on the show, that's watching with us, Ladrine, your audience, etc., the whole idea is that accessing this is so simple. It's hard to play it out, right? It's hard to live it sometimes, but the grasping of it is so simple. And when we can make it very reachable, very accessible, right there. There was another person, and I want to give her honor real quick. It was Flo, and she's here today. And Flo, she talked before I did, and she shared so many points that in basketball, they got this move. I know I'm talking with a bunch of ladies, but in basketball, they got this move where one teammate throws the ball up in the air close by the rim, and the other guy slam dunks it down. It's called an alley-oop.
Let me just stop you right there. Like, you talking to women, but women got game too. So as you said that, you would like throw it up there, and I'm like, yeah, we know what that is. But go ahead.
That's it. That's spot on. So I mean that to say I was very grateful for the alley-oop that Flo gave. This is how you know a person is kind of led by something that's greater and bigger than all of us, right? When Latasha was putting this whole event together, she could have had me not come, right? She could have had it. First of all, she allowed me to come. And then she set up this order of the event. And it just so happened that the person that needed to set up the mindset of the people before I came up is who Tasha put there.
Right.
That kind of stuff is an accident. You know what I mean? And so I'm very grateful for the simple things that Flo was able to bring that just bridge those gaps. And so that was another major component, right? If we can reach these major concepts. And I gave this one example about, how pills are great. When we have headaches, they help take the pain away.
Right.
But the pills mask the pain. They don't necessarily deal with what caused the pain. And so whether it was a deficiency of this sort of vitamin or not enough blood sugar or too much of this, taking a pill don't change your blood sugar level, right? Taking a pill don't fix your salt imbalance or your hydration levels. It just makes you miss the pain. And so if we do that in daily living, right? If we just do the things like blocking numbers or erasing people, or there's nothing wrong with kind of removing pain points. But if we don't also address what got us to that point, then we're going to repeat cycles. And so I'm just grateful to have been in the mix with people that were in tune enough to allow me to have a little moment to shine. It makes me humble because I know that it wouldn't have been possible had it not been for everybody that was a part of the event. So thank you so much. And thank you to you too.
Yeah. And thank you for doing a great job. And the last thing that I'll say, and be prepared, get prepared to share your social media, right? The thing you talk about the 90s and everything, you keep taking everybody back. So you all, Rodney played too much, like, first of all, right? But one very cute thing within his activity, as and don't get the brother wrong, he is very educated, so he goes deep into some of the things where you might need an encyclopedia beside you sometimes. I'm joking. But he keeps it real in everyday type of living, in everyday situation. So, my brother, when you broke out the whole idea of, like, you remember back in the day when the voice would be like, do you want to go with me? Yes, no. So, as I was emceeing, right, I had my little mark already drawn out. He didn't even play right. He left the mic somewhere else. I had to go to him and take him the paper. You were supposed to pass the mic, and I was supposed to pass you the ladder to let you laugh and go over. But anyway, I love your sense of humor. Love how you edutain, right? Because you entertained us, but we got educated. We really got educated. Right. So social media information. Tell me how people can get connected with you.
Absolutely. So my last name is Burris, right? Mm-hmm. And altogether it's Rodney C. Burris. Pick a social media, whether it's Clubhouse, whether it's Twitter. If you're like smart, inspirational quotes and statements, my Twitter is filled with that sort of thing. If that's like your vibe, like a morning dose. If you want to connect to the person that I am, Instagram still at Rodney C. Burris. My website is rodneycburris.com. I've even jumped on a little bit of TikTok, right? I was laughing with you guys, Ladrine, on Friday, saying I don't quite know exactly what I'm doing on TikTok yet, because TikTok is a whole other beast, right? But it's the way to people, right? And so I want to make myself, if I was a chef, I want to cook in as many places as possible. And so TikTok is one of them. So feel free, any social media at Rodney C. Burris. I would love to connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So we're going to be bringing up Flo, but I cannot bypass Michelle Bolden-Hammond's comment. She says, who are you, rang in my head all day long. Michelle, not only yours, everyone else. And it's in that voice, who are you? Leaning in a little bit, right? So, Tasha, thank you so much for inviting a male to the platform. And as you share, he won't be the last one. So next up is Flo Shefferin. Flo has graced Let's Do It talk show previously before. when I tell you, ain't Sweatpants and Chill, when I tell you on Friday, this sister was following her notes, going through her presentation, then one failed or something happened, and she just kind of like let the script go. And when she transformed to not using her script, she just let everything go and she let everyone have it. And I brought in this mirror as a token that she gave us that was a part of her presentation, but I'll let Flo come on, talk to you a little bit about what she shared. But presentation was so genuine and so heartfelt. Flo, how are you today?
Hello. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Hey, Latasha. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Rodney, I know about the alley hoop. I used to play basketball with my brother back in the day, so I know about that.
Trying to tell her, right? Like, hey, we let you in our space, but this is WNBA for a reason out here.
No.
So, Flo, energy always on fire. As soon as I saw your face, I got kind of like comfortable. I'm like, oh, I'm on air. I started like leaning over, but love you, sis. So happy that you're back on the show. So for those who may not know you, may have missed you at the conference and may not have seen you on the show, tell the people a little bit about who you are.
All right. My name is Flo Sharonfont. I am the owner of Flow C Inc., where we specialize in corporate events, meetings, conferences, and retreats. I have another business called Just Flow Consulting Agency, and where we offer corporate and professional development from corporate sectors and nonprofit organizations, as well as my baby is Just My Flow. When we do one-on-one coaching, we help other people identify their own unique flows so they could go out there and operate more effectively and efficiently, and honestly just say it's just my flow, because I always tell them it's just my flow, is nothing else matters. So that's what I do, and I continue flowing.
Yes, you do. So what was the title of your presentation from Friday?
Well, my title was Value You First. That was my title?
Yes, so that was your title. I keep getting caught up. Let me get myself together. Like, I'm really excited to see you. So,
trying to stay really, you know me, I could really get hype and everything. So I'm trying to be
don't listen.
We're
on Zoom, so don't stand up. Okay. We know how you go back and forth across the stage. Stay seated, because if you go above that, they're not going to be able to see you. Your energy is on fire. And I'm getting distracted because they are blowing up the chat about how you blessed them on Friday. So I'm going to get back to that. Stay focused. So in terms of your presentation, right? And I purposely switched it up to let you go behind Rodney, right? Because he was like, oh my God, everything that Flo said, which was so perfect and in alignment. But let's talk about your presentation. 3 to 5 high points. What were the points and the messages that you really wanted to hit home with the people who were in the audience and now to the viewers as well?
Well, basically, my whole thing when it comes to value you first, I always say this: you have something of value that somebody is in need of, that you could finally give them the results they've been looking for. But it starts with you. So every time I keep on saying that, I had to really question, do really people understand the value that they bring? Do you really know your worth? Do you really know that you are a valuable asset wherever you go? So this is the thing that people had to understand, the meaning of value, that is so significant. It's important, it's rare, it's distinct. That's the value that we bring. And then the thing is just to evaluate this whole thing regarding value and what it brings. So when I say value you first, I've had these little mirrors, and I told everybody to pull out this mirror. So I just broke it down to help people to see the value that they bring, that it starts with them. And the first thing that I tell them to do is to put yourself as priority number one. Right. So you have to put yourself on the top of the list. So it's always knowing that you are priority number one. That's one thing. The second thing is to understand to understand your time, value your time. We waste a lot of time doing unnecessary things that hold no purpose to what we are called to do.
Right.
So when you know that you got something of value, first of all, you will put yourself as priority. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Second, you will value your time because guess what? You have something of value. So that's two things. The next thing is to understand that to understand the value that you bring by investing the time and putting the work in it. So that's another thing that I ask them to do as well, for them to understand that. So when you understand your priority number one, when you understand to value your time, when you understand to put the work in, then you start understanding that you are to value yourself first. I'm sorry, because there's something that's happening on my computer and I'm trying to fix it.
So what we'll do is just go with the flow. If it ends up messing up, then we'll just shift. We got some more people coming behind. So just let me know. Are you good? So let's do this, actually.
Okay,
I'm you good
now. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So basically, that was my whole key point regarding value you first. So the other thing that I did tell them is that to stop giving yourself 10% and giving everybody else 90%. See, that's another thing that we do regarding time. And the other thing that I did talk about time is that we coast so much when it comes to time. So we think we have enough time to do everything that we are called to do. No, you don't have enough time. So if you understand that you have something of value that make a difference in somebody else's life, see, that's the thing of what we have of value. What we have of value change somebody's life. What we have of value solve somebody's problem. So when you understand that God puts this thing in you, it's your job to make sure that you put the effort in and you use your time wisely. Okay, so that's the basis of what I really was talking about regarding this workshop.
Right.
You know, in a nutshell. You could ask me some more questions, Ladrine.
No, love it. We're gonna have group in a second, but before I ask you to share your social media and your contact information, I just wanted to read a couple of the comments. So Devetta Henderson says, I was ready to take up an offering after she left the spirit, after she let the spirit use her. So I'm telling you, when you tossed that paper away, it was just something happening in that room. Ellen Buffington Freeman says, Flo was dropping those nuggets right and left off script. And then Michelle also chimed in, Michelle Bolden Hammond, Flo let God use her mightily. So yes, definitely enjoyed it. So social media, contact information.
The key point that I really want other people to understand is the power that you bring. Value the power within you. All right. And one thing that I tell people is that know that you have the power to say no. All right. The thing is that because what we do is we usually will not use that word power. That word no is because we're trying to please other people and trying to accommodate other people. So when it comes to value you first, you have something that somebody is waiting for to solve their problem. So you have the power to shift. You have the power to say no. You have the power to, this is another thing. This is the thing that I know a lot of people like when it comes to your table. So when you have something of value that somebody's in need of, that you can finally give them the results they've been looking for. So your table, who do you want sitting at your table? Because you got something of value. Do you need a lawyer sitting at your table? See, now you're trying to build your business or whatever you're trying to do. So you need the right key people sitting at your table. Do you need a lawyer at your table? Do you need a millionaire at your table? Right. Or do you need somebody who challenge you, just not telling me I'm doing a good job, who will critique you or critique you, who will somebody that you could glean from.
Right.
So you need the right people at your table. And the other thing that I tell people that now the time that we are living, after pre-pandemic and now post-pandemic, now we are still here. So since we are still here, it's time for us to take up and increase our value. It's time for us to take up to the next level of what we are called to do.
That's right. And that means if we're still here, it means that we still have work to do.
Yes.
So your social media information, can you share your social media information?
Yes, I'm at Flo Sharon Font on Facebook. You can follow me there. And the same way FlowC Inc. have a separate page. I'm in Instagram, #FlowC Inc. And my website is flowcinc.com.
Absolutely love you. I'm not reading all these comments. You could go back and read. You could go back and read the comments, but I love how everything that you said is still resonating with all of the people who are on the line. So it's still resonating with them. They're writing in and chiming in, but I love it. And Latasha says, I need a few millionaires at my table. I know that's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go to commercial. And then on the other side, we're going to have Angeli Austin share her testimony or share a component of it. And then also Regina Robinson, who just lit up the room with her jacket alone. But she's going to be sharing. And then we're going to have a quick group discussion and then close out with Latasha Briscoe. So sit tight and we'll be right back in a minute.
Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of Be Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, Be Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. Be Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm's services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bepremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. Be Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Welcome back. Oh my goodness. So shout out to Rodney and shout out to Flo. Their presentations were wonderful, and I know that we're only allotting time for them to do just an excerpt, but phenomenal. And make sure that you follow them on social media so that you can continue to receive the little bit that they poured out to us on Friday. So a couple things. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Let's Do It Talk Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's for Instagram, that's for Facebook. And please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also check out our website. Also, a couple of great things that are happening. One, I talked to you all and I shared a little bit last week about this journal that I am actually launching next week. So it's sort of like the pre-launch, but it's actually going to be coming out on my mom's heavenly birthday. But it's a grief journal. So you remember like our #1 Amazon best-selling book, that Latasha and I were the co-visionaries for and which was We All Grieve Differently. So I didn't want to title it that same way because I kept feeling some type of emotion when I was writing grieve, grieve, grieve. So I wanted to transition readers to the healing process. So in likeness form, it is called We All Heal Differently. So I'm so excited. I signed off on the final cover, the front cover as well as the back cover, but the graphic is the same graphic designer who did our We All Grieve Differently. So excited. Information for pre-orders will be available on next week's show. And especially as we come up with Thanksgiving holiday as well as Christmas, you all know that after Sweatpants and Chill, so it's bittersweet for me because right after Sweatpants and Chill last year, 2 days later, my mom passed away. So this time right here is kind of like, bittersweet for me, but God is still keeping me in a mildly way. Definitely send prayers up. I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. But it's that time, and I'm taking time to deal with what it is. So just keep me prayed up. Also, we're going to be talking about Sweatpants and Chill 2022. So at the end of the show, we will flash the flyer, and Tasha will go into details about that, right? So big shout out to everybody who's on the line as we get prepared for our next two speakers. So huge shout out to Davetta Henderson, to Yonette Reyes, Shawnee, Janice Bowles, who is one of our co-anchors who joined us on the show and co-host for the financials aspect. Major Bandy, Angelique Long, hey, she's a part of the U Broadcast family. Latasha Briscoe is playing double duty. Ellen Buffington Freeman. We also have Angela playing double duty. Cassandra Rosier. And we had some other people that I will finish calling out your name. But let's jump back into the show. We love how our viewers always participate. So next up is Angeli Austin. And I'll just have to tell you for this one, this was my first pick for the show. So we already knew that we were going to do a post show. And we were going to go along and just figure out who we were going to pull. Angeli, immediately after she wasn't even finished with her story, and I wrote Tasha a note and was like, that's one. Story, so impactful, so powerful, and sis, I appreciate you being so vulnerable and so open to share your story. We know you're not going to be able to get out everything right now, but I've already connected with you, and I'm going to bring you back for a full episode that you can share your story and dig in so that people can understand that the story of overcoming and the story of triumph doesn't only happen when it's finished and when it's all over and when you feel like you're out of it, but it's while you're in the midst of it. So I have to personally tell you that your story blessed me immensely. So without that, before I end up telling your whole story and presentation, Angeli, I want to welcome you to the show. So welcome, my sister.
Thank you.
Looking beautiful as ever. So before we jump into dialogue, can you briefly give folks an overview of who you are?
Yes, I am Angeli Austin, also known as Amazing Angeli. That's what I go by on social media. But I am an author of a course of my own personal book, Purposely Chosen, what I shared at the retreat, as well as several anthologies, collaborating with some other wonderful ladies. I am also a small business owner, Angels Helping Hands, LLC, where I cater to the senior community with concierge services as well as companionship. So I'm very proud of that.
Awesome. Thank you. So what was the title of your presentation?
The title of my presentation is Get Healed Now. And yes. And it was most definitely something that I could resonate with getting healed now and how important that it is.
Yes. And your story, let me stay on story because I'm about to start having one-on-one dialogue, getting deep. When I close my eyes, that means I'm going to a different level. Let me stay focused here, right? I'm serious. Your story impacted me greatly. It's not even the things that you went through. I didn't go through most of them, but I'm in this space where I'm really feely, and I'm really feeling people. So even before you got on stage, man, you passed by each other and we had like small dialogue, and it was just your presence. It was just your whole presence and your whole being. And then when you got on stage, you just reeled me in even more. Your story, not all glamour and beautiful as one would think, but your story really captivated me. And I'm telling you, I am just so grateful. So let's share with everyone. What key points did you want your audience to walk away with?
Yes, the key points that I wanted my audience to walk away with was to learning how to forgive. Mm-hmm. And there's so many levels of forgiveness. And the one main thing that I wanted my audience to know was forgiving your abuser. And we all know that can be very traumatic for the person who has endured the abuse, especially from family members, someone that they trust for them to be their protector, so to speak. And unfortunately, what I shared was my parents and some other family members. Right. So, but those things will carry on throughout your life, and it will most definitely, when you choose different things and choices that you, as far as careers and relationships, it will most definitely hinder you from moving forward. Yeah. And so those are the things that I wanted my audience to understand. Sometimes you got to go back to the main root of it, past even before you were even born, meaning your parents and maybe their parents. So going back to the root of the soul ties, so to speak, and getting healed from that. And so that was one of the things that I wanted my audience to know. Once you identify those things, those soul ties, then maybe you'll understand why maybe your parents were behaved that a certain way, and then maybe for yourself, and maybe even for it down to your children.
Yes. So, oh my God, your presentation, you intertwine so many different things, whether it was intentionally or unintentionally, the way that your presentation flowed, right? And get it, you were only up there for a hot second, but all of the comments that everybody is saying, so I'm not the only one that felt this way. Cassandra Rosier said, I was so stuck on your presentation. Amazing. And you're such a beautiful person. And Nikki follows up, such a beautiful spirit. And Yanette Reyes follow up, exactly a hard one, right? So all of the things that you went through and all of the things that you endured. So that's where you started us, right? But then you took us on your journey, and when you parked us, so we're talking about healing, but we're talking about forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is a heavy lift. Forgiveness is a heavy lift. It's a heavy lift in itself. But when it is forgiving someone who did all these things to you, you could have blamed them for your life and some of the things that you went through. But then that whole twist of you having to care. Forgiving is one thing. But having to care for someone who did these things. And what I appreciate was your honesty in saying, as I was over my mom's bed, forgiveness wasn't immediately or all to that level I thought it was, because I had them thoughts of what she did to me when I was younger. When I tell you, I honestly started looking at all of the faces in the room where it may not have been a mother in the exact stories that you went through, but your pathway and the point where you are, people were there. People were there before. And so I applaud you as a child of God, because that's what it is about, right? It is regardless of what people have done to you. What is your contract with God? And when I tell you, you really, really, really blessed and set some souls on fire with that. And it was also because of your honesty. People can get up there and say the good parts, but that part right there, when I tell you, it really like it struck some souls. But let me go. This is your story, girl. Go ahead, finish telling any other points that you wanted to share. But definitely impactful. Definitely impactful.
Well, you know, just like you just said, you know, it could be easy for some who say, "Oh, I believe," and I'm, you know, it's always been there for me, but it wasn't always there for me.
Right.
As a child, because of the trauma, I didn't believe. I questioned all the time, "Where are you, God? You know, how can you allow this to happen to me? You know, what's wrong with me that, you know," and I felt that I wasn't loved, not only by family members, but just God in general. So it wasn't until, I would say, as an adult, where, you know, God just placed people in my life, and especially my grandmother, but God rest her soul. But I really was beginning to know who God was through her. But then when I lost her out of my, you know, physical presence, I really went back again as far as, okay, I don't have anybody. So I, you know, again, I started dealing with things my own way, which still I didn't know. When you don't know to do better, what happens? You don't do better. And so, so my relationship really didn't start till I was older in my life. You know, I shared how old I am and everything, and you know, that I really didn't get into the words, so to speak, until I really had gone through so much where it was at that lowest point where I said, okay, let me try who God is and really, you know, seek his face. And that's where I began to learn what the word was speaking to me, that I cannot use you until you have gone through what I need you to relate to others, because, you know, relate to others and understand that what that mean to trust and have faith in God. So it wasn't until it resonated with me why I had to go through. Now I can tell the testimony how good God is, and that I had to trust the process. Never said it will be easy. So now I understand that statement. You know, it's not supposed to be easy. No, he does not say that you would go through the trials and tribulations, but with him, you can go through and you will, you know, succeed spiritually. And so that's what my relationship is still seeking his face so that I can continue to help others heal in their trauma.
Amen. 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 But God, won't he do it? All those hashtags really, really like go with your story. So social media, what are your social media contact? What platforms are you on? How can they get in touch with you?
Yes, I am, of course, on Facebook as under my name, Angeli Austin, and also on Instagram as Amazing Angeli 70. And so you can find me on those platforms, and most definitely reach out to me. Again, I you know, it wasn't until I started sharing my testimony that this speaker landed in my lap. So you got to be careful, you know, where you ask God to lead you. So I'm just like really overjoyed on how so many have reached out to say, you really touched me and this happened to me. And now I am not ashamed and I can move forward with my healing. So yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And so annually I do an episode on healing, and then I also do another episode on forgiving. I'm definitely going to bring you back on both of them. Like, your story is amazing. Your story is amazing. So, thank you so much. And again, Facebook comments, and I'll just read one more before we transition on to Miss Regina. Yonette Red says, "She is me and I am she." I love that. So, yes. So, thank you so much. So, let's transition to our last but definitely not least speaker. and that is Miss Regina Robinson. Regina, how are you?
Good evening, Ladrine. I am amazing. Thank you so much for having me here with you this evening, as well as all the other amazing speakers that was at the Sweatpants and Chill retreat. It was nothing shy of truly being blessed by God, and it was an amazing event. So I was excited to be a part.
Amen, amen, amen. And can I just tell you before I ask you to provide a brief intro, your hot pink jacket, right? When you walk into the room, it was an eye catcher. And from that point on, it was the conversation piece of the day. So keep rocking it and keep shining. Even without it, you shine, right? But it puts an extra little sprinkle on you. So
absolutely.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So who is Regina Robinson?
Wow, I am a speaker, I am an author, I am a publisher, I am a coach, but most importantly, I'm a woman of God. Most importantly, I'm a woman who's unstoppable, and I am on the move. Every time I show up, I'm ready, I'm prepared, and I'm equipped to do what God has called and blessed me to do. And that is to help women who are ready to share their story, use it to create impact, create visibility, and most importantly, monetize as they make sure the world knows who they are, as they turn their platforms into what God has destined for it to be. So I am excited to be here with each and every one of you tonight. And thank you again, Ladrine, so much for allowing me to be here and share. And I would not be amiss if I did not say thank you to Latasha for allowing us to grace her platform, because all too many times some people won't bring you on their platform because they're either afraid you're going to outshine them, or they just don't think it's enough in the world for us all. But one thing I can say about that sister, she believes in blessing and passing the baton down to everyone so that everyone can have their opportunity. So thank you so much, Latasha, for having us all.
Absolutely, absolutely. You talked about a whole different topic, right? That's another story, right? Sisters just empowering one another, and Latasha definitely creates that platform for it. But let me also give you your kudos, right? That whole confidence thing, there's so many people who hold back on their shine, right? And they know that they have it in them, but rather it be something that somebody else said that impacted their self-confidence, or rather it be something that somebody else did to them that made them feel or questioning themselves. Honey, sister, when you got on the stage, you pretty much told them what they already knew, and just in case they didn't or they forgot it, you reminded them of it. So please, in just an overview, tell me, what were like the most 3 to 5 highlights that you wanted to make sure that the viewers and the participants walked away with?
So for most importantly, I wanted to deposit into the room, into women, because as women, all too often, we don't love ourselves.
Right.
We love ourselves on the outside, but we forget most importantly to love ourselves from the inside out. And so I was that woman. 5 years ago, in fact, when I met Ladrine for the very first time, I showed up and I looked amazing on the outside, but on the inside, I was broken. I didn't love the woman I saw back in the mirror. I was that woman who went to bed at night crying in my pillow so my daughter didn't hear me, getting in the shower to cry because I didn't want to hear her to hear me cry too loud. And so I could actually release what I was feeling. And I don't know how many other women can relate to that, but all too often we pour out, but we forget to pour into our own selves. So we give to everyone else, and we forget most importantly that we need it most before anyone else needs what we can give to them. And I was that woman. So I forgot to love me. So I wanted to deposit to all the women in the room. It's been a crazy 2 years, right? And so I wanted to remind us that it's okay to love you. And it's okay to be unapologetic about loving you. And with no regrets, the good, the bad, and the ugly, loving you. And then I gave them a second thing where I said, believe in you. We don't believe in ourselves enough. We want to pray to God and say, God, I know you're going to do this and I know you're going to do that. But do you really believe he is? Do you really believe he's going to give you exactly what you've been praying for, right? Are you still asking him for those small prayers because you don't believe you have what it takes to manifest the big ones that he has in store for you? Sisters, I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to manifest big things in 2021 into 2022. I'm not shortchanging what I know I'm possible of receiving, what I'm capable of achieving, and most importantly, what I know God has promised for me to actually manifest. So take everything you have and use it. Stop beating yourself up and start believing in yourself. Muhammad Ali would always say, the champ is here. The champ is here. He hadn't even won the fight yet. So some of y'all are counting yourselves out and you haven't even gotten in the ring. I declare today, you need to get in the ring. You need to fight until the count of 10. You got until they say 10 to get back up, and they are not at 10 yet. So you still got time to get back up and finish whatever it is in 2021. You need to finish so you can prepare to usher in a brand new 2022. But while you're doing that, don't be anybody else but yourself, because everyone else is taken. Mm-hmm. So don't look at where I am or where Ladrine is or where Latasha is, because you weren't there in all the years we were sacrificing to get the results you actually see us manifesting today. It wasn't easy. It was some restless nights. Matter of fact, y'all heard me say it was some crying nights. But look at us today, because we were willing to, most importantly, love ourselves, believe in ourselves, and now be ourselves, because everyone else is taken and you don't want to be a copycat of somebody else and miss out what God has for you. So I don't know about you, but I want to be me, and I'm me in my bright pink jacket and my pink heels all the time. And when I show up, I am that unstoppable woman, and I am on the move for God to touch the lives of women who are assigned to me, who are destined to me. And if I don't show up, they don't get what God has for them. So I'm not willing to not show up. I'm showing up on behalf of me and for them.
Yes, 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 yes. And the whole analogy to Muhammad Ali, right? The champ is here before he gets into the ring, right? Yes. So we can go to church on him, won't do that here, but we all know that everything that we go through was already designed before we were born. So nobody can tell us like anything different from what God has designed for our lives, but we keep allowing them to. And the reason why I love your message so much, right? People think it's like borderline between confidence and being conceited. There's when you know that you know that you know that you know, there's no need to be conceited, because we know that it has nothing to do with us at all.
Absolutely.
It's all
and
God.
You know that you've done the work, right? You know that you've done the work. You've taken time to do the inner work. Stop allowing the world to tell you shouldn't celebrate yourself. Right. If you don't celebrate you, who else will?
Who will? Who will? Who will? And sis, look, I remember you from your pink jacket and your pink heels, because guess what? I was rocking and still rock that green blazer and them green shoes. So I don't even play with my green. And it makes me feel good, although that's what people recognize me for. So all day, everybody kept saying pink, pink, pink. But trust me, in the back of their mind, it was confidence. Like, do all you can do. Be all you can be. The champ is here. So, trust me, long when you left out the room, people will remember you for that. So, thank you so much for pouring those very important pieces into people. My niece was sitting next to me, right? We just had a whole vacation in August where I'm talking to her. I told her about Sweatpants and Chill. I was trying to get her to be a vendor. She's online, so I'm looking straight. I'm not even looking to see what she put in. Do you know when she got up and testified, she was like, I just want to thank my aunt. I found out about this last minute, just a minute ago. And I was looking like, no. But sometimes you need to hear the message packaged in a different way. So a lot of the messages, but your message, her uh-huhs and her amens and her okay. Then she started trying to send me her business plan. I'm like, I can't read it right here. She started trying to move. So I just want you to know that you ignited her fire. So thank you for your presentation, and not only like to her, but to all other people in the room. So thank you for blessing us. So we're going to bring everybody in quickly, and we're going to have a group discussion so we can transition to Tasha and to close out. So, oh my God, I hope you all are loving this conversation. We only can give you little bits of it because everybody was amazing. And I'm not saying this just to like size anything up. When I tell you the hand picking that is done for these presentations, and it all gels together. So God's orchestration is amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have quick group discussion, simple questions, and just asking some of the speakers and also Latasha to chime in. So Regina, let's start with you. So what's your experience participating in SPC? And by that, I mean, like, how many years have you attended? How many years have you attended as a speaker or an attendee? And then I also want you to close out with your highlight or your aha moment of any of the presentations or any part of the event.
So this was my first year doing the Sweatpants and Chill, attending and being a speaker at the retreat. I've done stuff with Latasha on her education platform. And so this was the first time I crossed over on her women's platform. So I was excited to be there. I'm honored that she invited me, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. My biggest aha moment was we were women in the room that were not looking to compete with each other, but we were loving on each other. We were supporting on each other. We were connecting with one another. We were networking with one another. And most importantly, we were pouring in to one another. And we weren't looking for anything in return, but simply that we were all in the room together. And that's what true sisterhood is. That's what retreats are supposed to be about. And that's what sisterhood is supposed to be about. And so I love that, being able to just share with other women at the event, how I can connect with them, how they could connect with me, telling them I hang out on Facebook and Instagram at Regina Robinson Speaks, all of that stuff, right? Because now I know I have some sisters that I'm going to be connecting with later on, collaborating with, doing other things with, showing up at their events. And that's what I believe that's the true vision of why she created Sweatpants and Chills Retreat, not just so she could say she had an event, but that the impact can be a lasting impact for years to come. Even after she decides she doesn't want to do it maybe anymore, it will still be having that impact. And so again, thank you, Latasha, for putting together the Sweatpants and Chill Retreat and for having me.
Yes. And Regina, can you please provide your social media contact information or how folks can get in contact with you?
Sure. So I hang out on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and I am at Regina Robinson Speaks on all social media platforms. And my website is even reginarobinson.speaks.com. So you can find me in all those platforms.
Thank you so much. Flo, we're coming for you next. So, Flo, in terms of your experience, what's your experience participating in SPC, years as a speaker, years as an attendee, and then your aha moment?
Well, you know what? I have to say the first time was last year during the pandemic, and did the virtual. And that was new. That was totally new, doing a retreat and being a presenter. And it was her platform. And I'm very grateful for that. And I had to say that even last year, that experience, it was a move virtually that was phenomenal. And just to see the faces of the ladies from last year and today in this past weekend, and just being that present with everybody, what I saw and I love is just the uniqueness. Yes. Everybody's a woman, but everybody bring out their own unique style, their own unique way of doing things and communicating. And that's why I love. There's one thing I know from last year, and I saw today when I talk about shades of color, everybody, that one particular color in the box of crayon just stands out. Your own unique style stands out. And what I love is that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, that I see it was just a warm unity in that room. And that's what I did like a lot. I'm grateful that, Latasha has had me come back this year, and just everybody was friendly. You learn from everybody. I like Rodney too, just being with him and the insight that he brought in there. My big aha moment of the day is just the move of the spirit was there all through the whole I wasn't there for the weekend, but from what I see from last year, this year, and I love that. You know, I'm a woman of God as well. I go to retreats with my church and everything like that. But just that platform, that even that what we do on a secular and what we do out there, and being a retreat like that, and you feel the spirit of the Lord in that place, and move, and we just go with the flow of it. And it's just like, it just moved. Even if you have a mic and you just talking, you just know that the spirit just hit you. You're sitting there and everybody just relax and just enjoying the God's presence. And that's what, that was my biggest aha moment there.
Amen. 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 Thank you. And Latasha, we're going to save you for last, okay? So we're going to go to Angeli. So how about you? Experience as an attendee as well as speaker, and what was your aha moment?
This was actually my first time attending SPC. I did attend a different event with Latasha. It was a boss. It was, I think it was maybe the beginning of 2020. It was the boss level up. I'm trying to remember what that was, but it was another event that she was a part of. And I learned, that's when I learned a lot more about who she was in the community. And but this was my actual first time attending. And I'm just honored through other young ladies who have attended the retreat, virtual retreat as well, invited me to, hey, you got to come, you got to be a part of it. And then when it was put out there about, being a speaker, I kind of jumped at the opportunity of sharing my testimony. So I was very honored to have been one of the ones that was chosen to share my testimony. So I thank you and appreciate that. And I could just say, as well as everyone has already said, that it just speaks for itself that the environment in that room, the whole weekend, it was what it was for all of us. And I can most definitely say I felt so comfortable, because again, I've been one of those ones who felt like intimidated just by titles of others, and their status. And so I felt so uncomfortable to be around so many women who were just as humble to just share their love and share their, just their gifts. Yeah. And so that right there made me feel so comfortable. And as I said, when I stood up and shared before, in the room with the sisters in the room, I said, hey, if I take a picture with you, I consider you my sister, just because I felt like it was like, that was just, so it was a moment for me. And so I didn't get to even get around to everybody and get a hug. But I'm going to tell you, every time I tried to make a beeline, someone was stopping me and telling me how my testimony impacted them. So I was just like overwhelmed with the joy of how this was for me, And so my aha moment was really, just saying, I know that I'm in the right position now. Yeah. I feel that now God has shown me this is what I need you to do, is get this testimony out and share it, because this is what I need. This is why, the reason why I kept asking why, but this is why, because so that was my aha moment for me, was I got the confirmation. Yes. So yes.
I love it. I love it. You poured out, people poured back into you. And people also came up to you and told you how you impacted them. And I know that it shifted. And even from the moment that you were leaving, because we were parked side by side by each other, and we were still talking as we were leaving out. So definitely thank you. And Rodney is hidden in the back lane, but he is still on the call. So Rodney, I definitely want you to share your input. What's your experience with SBC? I can already answer that. First time for everything, because males are not allowed. So I'm going to skip that one, right? So what was your aha moment?
Absolutely. So definitely, like I stated 100 times, I was honored to be able to share the space. That was great. For me, knowing the value of being comfortable, right? Sometimes you want to really dress up. Sometimes you want to dine and sit at the table and that sort of thing. But sometimes just being able to literally throw on sweatpants and everybody just grab pillows and sit around the floor and we eat foods that we can grab with our hands. It's a certain home comfort in that. It's a certain warmth in that. And so that was the idea as I understood it behind the retreat, kind of like taking down some of the pretense, and it felt comfortable in there. Again, you know, I'm telling everybody now, Tasha, I got 5 minutes to just tell the world. I got kicked out immediately. I didn't get to experience the wonderful weekend. So the warm friendlies was at 4. No, I'm joking. But just to know that was the idea behind it and to be able to contribute to that momentum and to that spirit. It felt great. It felt great. It's something I would love to do again. And maybe next time, you know, the dream, it'll even be some food left over for me too. And then that will make it a great weekend experience for everybody involved, including the hungry Rodneys of the world. But it was a great event, Tasha. Thank you so much.
So you got jokes there. You got jokes. But no, definitely understand. But she needed to kick you out. But you also set the stage for her opening up and now has already invited another male. So males will be somehow a part of it, but it'll still be some parameters, but you all will be invited back. So Tasha, you hang tight, but Regina, Angeli, Flo, and Rodney, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. You all have been awesome. We couldn't find any better people to come on and share a little glimpse of what Sweatpants and Chill was about. And you all have done a fantastic job. So thank you so much for joining us. Tasha, you hang on. We are going to close out the show here. So last questions for you, Tasha. So in terms of your, I'm not going to ask you how many times and what's your role. We already know that, right? But your aha moment, and you can't say when it was over and when it was finished, okay? Your aha moment, what was your aha moment from this year's experience?
Yeah, so one of the things that has carried me year to year was someone praying over me about continuing to keep this going and making this platform bigger. And one of the things that Flo actually said was, and I'm summarizing what she said because I can't remember word for word, but what she said was 2020 was somewhat canceled for a lot of us. So for those of us that tend to plan a year out because we say we're strategic about things and we're only planning for the upcoming year, look what 2020 left us. And that went to waste for many people. What she said was plan 5 years, 10 years out. And that was just confirmation for me because I mentioned throughout the weekend how a prophetess has said to me during that event, bigger, keep growing, grow your platform, do something different in your platform. And my prayers for the past couple of weeks has been a new thing. And that right there, that was just confirmation for me that, even though I say sometimes, I'm canceling this thing, I'm not doing this anymore, I already know that this platform is too important to a whole lot of people for me to not continue it. And I have to start looking for what we're going to be doing, of course, for year 5, and then looking even further to year 10 with this event.
I love it. So that kind of like goes into, and you sort of answered the question of what should we expect for SPC 2022? Well, we already know the location.
Yes.
We already know that we will be on the beach. So expectations 2022.
Yep. So we will be at the Hyatt Regency Resort and Spa in Cambridge, Maryland. So we are going to be on the water. I was trying to figure out how we can get on the water and keep this that staycation type of event that it has always been. because a lot of people like to drive in because they want to see family, friends when they're in town. And so I want to continue to make it convenient, but also have a nice location. We're changing the weekend, so it'll be in October 21st through the 23rd. And we are opening it up for men next year. So Rodney, we're going to make sure we save you a plate. When you get there late, we'll make sure we have some food set to the side for you so you can eat. But we are opening it up to men next year, similar to how Rodney blessed us with his message. We're going to have that opportunity for additional men to join us as presenters, but we're also creating a space for men to actually participate in the conference. Right. We're not getting rid of that safe space that we have for women, because that is very important to all of my attendees, that we have that safe space where women can just open up and share. But what we're doing is duplicating a similar type of space for men, because men have come up to me during the planning of this event and said, well, why don't you have anything like this for men? And I'm like, because I'm not a man, I didn't know y'all needed this. But because I keep hearing it, now I know that it's necessary. And having Rodney in that room, and we had a couple other gentlemen in the room also that were either working or they were assisting with vending and all those things. But they even mentioned to me how this was necessary and how they got so much out of the event. So next year, 2022, men and women will be invited. We're going to have a space for both to come together, and then we're going to have those individual spaces for each of us to learn what we need to know. And registration is open. Early bird registration is open. Yes, so we are doing deposits like we always do. $50 deposit, hold your seat. And then we also have payment arrangements, and we have a code, and I'll make sure I drop the code in the chat, but the code is SPC 2022, where you're getting 22% off. Of course, I had to play with that number, 22% off, so you can join us next year. But we have so much planned. We're going to definitely take advantage of the view and the location. We have on-site and off-site activities that we'll be hosting for our attendees. So we are definitely taking it up another level, as we are supposed to do, to make this thing bigger.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I cannot wait to Sweatpants and Chill 2022. So everybody, if you have not registered, like it came out yesterday, I'm telling you, it closes out and it sells out extremely fast. So make sure that you get your deposit in. Make sure that you get your slot taken care of. The place. So I had the opportunity of going to an event at that same Hyatt in Cambridge, Maryland. And when I tell you, the environment, the waters, the facility, everything is lovely. So that, and Tasha actually, Latasha was the one who decorated that event. It was a girls' getaway event with Dr. Cheryl Wood. And the whole environment, Janice Bowles is on the line. She also was an attendee, but the atmosphere just added on to what you were there for, to the whole experience of the event. So make sure that you get signed up. So we have come to the end of our show. Sweatpants and Chill, Sweatpants and Chill. And y'all know what I do when I'm on the stage, right? When I say sweatpants, y'all say chill. That right there is my whole little lineup to get the crowd pumped up. So I'm telling y'all, like, get pumped up now for 2022, because it's going to only be even more amazing than it was before. So huge shout out to everybody that's on the line. So Dakota Saunders, Ellen Freeman, Major Bandy, Janice Bowles, Yanette Reyes, Brenda Butler, Cassandra Rosier, Nikki Harris, Devetta Henderson, Kim Finner Brown, and I know it's some more, but thank you to my producer, because I couldn't keep up, and he jotted down the names and brought them out, because I love to give shout outs to everybody who's participating. Coming up on our upcoming shows, as I mentioned, managing grief during the holidays. So next week, as we approach Thanksgiving and also the Christmas holiday, Reverend Irene Ford Smith will be my guest. You all know she is my grief counselor. And we'll also be sharing information. I'll make sure I post it on my site because grief counseling is this week. She leads it. She has helped me in a tremendous way. My niece has joined in as well. But we're going to be talking about that. Like, I know that you're going through something and you're experiencing things because this is that time of the season. I am too. So we're going to have the resources for you right here on Let's Do It Talk Show. And then coming up in December, our theme is looking back to move forward. So have some wonderful shows lined up for you. And thank you, everyone. Remember, follow us on all social media platforms. Let's Do It Talk Show. And until next week, you all have a wonderful week. I'll see you all next week.